I'm back with another video. This is another story time. I'm remember yesterday when I was talking about my what was it? I was talking about how I lost weight. Um, how I was 55 pounds or whatever. Well, this story is gonna be how I got there, why I had those, why I had the reason. Okay, let me start over. What the reason why I was 55 pounds? This story I'm about to tell you is the reason why I was 55 pounds. But there's still not, it's still not a good enough reason to starve yourself, you know. I know, yeah, but this story I'm about to tell is the reason why I was that way. But when I was dating my ex-boyfriend, the one that used to abuse me and used to treat me really bad, and I was with him for 5 years, and I used to never have a problem with eating. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, I would be picky. I wouldn't want to eat certain types of foods or whatever. I was a picky eater. I've always have been a picky eater, but I never stopped eating. I would still eat, and I would still eat something. You know, I wouldn't starve myself. Even if it was, I don't know, a cookie or whatever. I would still be eating something. Now, when I was dating my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, when I used to go over there, his dad used to cook. His dad would cook, like, for the house or whatever. And, every time we would sit down to eat, the meat would be raw. Okay, that's the first time I would think, you know, I would be afraid of eating meat, because when he would cook, he wouldn't cook the meat all the way. It would be raw, or it would be, you know, half raw, like half cooked, half raw, or whatever. And I would get this thought in my head that every time I would have a piece of meat, I would have a hamburger or a piece of steak or whatever, I would initially think, I don't want to eat it because the meat's raw. Because that's the way he would cook his food all the time. And I would just think all meat was like that. Every time I would eat meat, I would think that the meat was raw. It was going to make me sick, and I didn't want to eat it. Then, one night, I don't know, there was, I went to my grandmother's house, and, we were all eating, it was a family get together, whatever, and the neighbor bought a ham, made us a ham or whatever. I don't know if it was old, or if she left it out too long before she cooked it. I don't know what the reason was, but I didn't eat it. But everyone in my family that ate the ham ended up getting food poisoning from the ham. At the time, my initial thought, the meat is gonna make me sick, and meat is raw. And I would avoid meat at all costs. I would eat fruits, vegetables, I would eat bread, I would eat everything except meat. So I was anemic or whatever. So at that time, when that happened, instead of thinking, well, maybe she gave us a bad ham or whatever, I automatically assumed that if I eat, I'm gonna get poisoned and I'm gonna end up getting sick, or I'm gonna end up dying because of that one incident. So my anxiety and my fear, my anxiety is so high. When I have one bad situation, I automatically assume that's it. That's a bad memory, and everything that has to do with that bad memory, I want no part of. That's the way I am. That's the way my mind is. That's the way I think. But of course, taking the medicine, I don't know. I mean, I still have the thought, I'm afraid I'm gonna get sick if I eat. But I gotta train my brain, and I gotta tell myself, if I don't eat, I will get sick. So, I still have the thoughts. The voices are still there. But, I mean, it's never gonna go away. But with the medicine, it helps a lot. But, so fast forward to 2015. It was October 2015. Fast forward to 2015. Oh, backwards. Okay. From there, fast forward to 2015 of October 2015. I ended up losing weight. I wasn't eating. I was scared to eat. Every time we would go out to eat, I would eat very little. If we went to Burger King, instead of eating a burger or chicken nuggets, I would eat fries. That's all I would eat. I would eat nothing else. And then I would drink a lot of water to fill myself up so I wouldn't eat. I did this for a few months. I would eat very little, and then I would drink a lot of water to fill myself up so I wouldn't get hungry, because I was afraid of eating. So at that time, I'm starving my body. I'm not eating right. I'm not eating like I'm supposed to. And when you don't eat and you don't feed your brain, especially if you have a mental illness, it's gonna make your illness much worse. I knew that, but I couldn't control how I was feeling and what I was thinking, and it was taken over. So me having bipolar and having paranoid delusions and hallucinations, not eating, and not being medicated, because I wasn't medicated. I completely stopped taking the medicine that they were giving me before because it wasn't working, so I stopped taking it. So I started losing weight. I wasn't eating right. So not eating and not feeding my body and my brain, I was making myself more sick, physically and mentally. So my anxiety was extremely high at this point. I wasn't eating for about a month. I would eat very little. Junk food. I would eat junk food, like junk. My safe food was chips, was chocolate, was cookies, cakes. That was my safe food. That's what I would live on. Very little though. I wouldn't indulge into it because, if you overindulge in junk, you'll gain weight. I wasn't gaining weight. I wasn't putting on weight. So at this point, my anxiety was really high, and every time I would eat, I would feel like the food was getting stuck in my throat. So because of that sensation in my throat, it would feel like acid reflux. And because of that, I wasn't eating. I would avoid eating because I was afraid of the food getting stuck in my throat, and I didn't want that sensation. I didn't want to go through that because it would cause me more anxiety, and I would avoid eating. So I would fill up on more water. I would fill up on water to get full. I didn't want to eat. So I started losing weight. I was 65 pounds. I dropped down to 55 pounds. So I lost 60, 50, 65, 55. So I lost about 10 pounds. And it was showing. Like, it was significant. I knew, at the time, like, when I was losing this weight, I started to feel bad. I would feel cold. Like, I'm always cold. I'm always wearing a sweater or whatever because I'm always cold. But the sensation that I was feeling was, let's say you're out in the rain and you're getting rained on, and then you walk into a store, you're soaked. That sensation of being wet and cold and walking into a store or having the air on your face or whatever, that sensation, that sensation I was getting, that's the type of coldness I would feel. Every time I would get cold, I would feel like I was doused I was rained on, and I just walked into a store and I'm soaked. And I would be shivering, and that's the type of coldness I would feel. My joints would start hurting. It wasn't like fibromyalgia where if I'm feeling stressed out, I would feel a little bit of numbness or tingling in my arm or a little bit of soreness, and then it would go away once I feel relaxed. It wasn't none of that. It was more like if you touched me, it would hurt. I was in that much pain. If you touched me, I would cry. I would start crying because it would hurt so bad, like just to be touched. I had no muscle. I was always in pain. My toes would hurt. I had this one pinky toe would hurt all day, every day. It would be throbbing all day, every day. Like, I was in bad shape. I was always cold. My temperature now is usually between 87, 88, because I'm always cold. I'm always cold. So my temperature, now they didn't tell me what my temperature was when I went to the clinic, but it was pretty low, and they were concerned. I had high blood pressure, and I had my sweater, I had my boyfriend's sweater on top of that, and I was still freezing. I was still cold. I seen the doctor, and he told me, I'm going to give you a month to put on 5 pounds. Now, you better eat as much as you can. and you better force yourself to eat, because if you don't gain that 5 pounds when I see you next month, I'm gonna have you admitted into the hospital. And you know, I can no longer help you, because, you know. So I went, I started eating, I started putting on weight, and then I remember I went, I see my therapist, and I told my therapist, please, can I see a new doctor, because the doctor that you gave me, I'm not happy with. You know, he makes too many threats, he's too serious, he makes me uncomfortable, he's just mean, you know, he doesn't let me talk. Like, you know, I'm trying to talk, and he's like, shh, shh, I'm not talking to you, I want to talk to your father. And that's the way he would treat me. Like, you know, I'm the patient, you know, listen for me, listen to what I have to say, because I'm going through this, you know, I'm dealing with it, like, let me talk, you know. But he had already, you know, just seeing me and what I was going through, he already knew, okay, you are bipolar, you are manic right now, you are delusional, you are hallucinating, I'm putting you on risperidone, I'm putting you on mirtazapine, and you're gonna go home, and that's it. You're gonna start your new medicine tonight. And I was like scared. I went into the pharmacy, I was shaking, I was crying, I was like, please, 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 please. I don't want to take it, I don't want to take it, I'm nervous, I'm scared it's gonna make me sick, blah, 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 blah. Because of my mind. At this point, I wasn't medicated for about a year. So I was in bad shape. Like, after taking the medicine for like 3 days, I started to feel relaxed. I woke up relaxed, you know, calm. I started getting an appetite. I started getting cravings for different foods. I started craving different things. Like, I would start craving a burger. I would start craving pizza. I would start craving, I don't know, fruits, and, you know, and I would go out, and it would feel good to actually go into, you know, go into a grocery store and be able to, you know, pick out whatever I want to eat and be able to sit down and eat, and not have to worry about having these crazy thoughts running through my head that the food is poison and that it's going to make me sick. You know, I've come a long way, but I'm not 100%, because I still have my moments where, you know, if I go to eat something, or I go into a certain restaurant or whatever, or certain foods, I'll have a setback, and I'll think, if I eat that, it's going to make me sick. But, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. But that was my story on why I had these thoughts, and why I was thinking the way I was thinking about these foods, and why I would think that the food was poison or it's going to make me sick. But yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.